The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Well, I think, Lewis, a fair way to paraphrase President Barack Obama's speech yesterday regarding Osama Bin Laden is, hey guys, sorry it took so long to get you my birth certificate. I was busy killing Osama Bin Laden. I think that that's a fair way to sum up what we heard.
I think that works, yeah.
I don't even know where to start with this. I got home at about, I think, 11 yesterday. And I just, for a second, just turned on the TV and saw every channel was talking about Obama has been, or rather, I'm doing it already. Obama has announced that he has killed, not personally, Osama Bin Laden. And at that point, I don't know, I ended up getting wrapped up watching the news and then the speech. And I mean, it was like 1 a.m. before I finally, wrapped things up. And there was really not that much to see. I mean, in other words, there were people in D.C. and in Times Square, and there was something. We'll talk about what this means, good and bad. We'll talk to Bill Scher and Matt Lewis also. But there was something that to me was a little bit of a turnoff in rejoicing the way that you would if a team wins a big soccer game about somebody dying, even though, as many have said, I think it was Mark Twain who said, and I'm paraphrasing here, I don't wish death on anyone, but there are certain obituaries that I take pleasure in reading. I mean, what was your thought when you heard about this?
I think there's going to be a lot of very angry people.
So you're worried about some kind of retaliatory action from Al-Qaeda. I mean, the thing is, I did think that, but at the same time, were they not trying to get us, so to speak, the entire time anyway?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I don't know that that's...
I'm happy in general.
You're happy about the death of Bin Laden?
Yeah.
In other words, you believe that he deserved to be captured or killed?
Yeah, definitely.
Here's the Barack Obama statement, just a little bit of it, explaining exactly what happened. All right, hold on. Lewis, talk for a second while I get everything wired up here, because, we're having all sorts of problems.
Yeah. See, this is what happened when David does not prepare properly for the show.
All right. Here's the clip. I know we do have it.
We reaffirmed our ties to each other and our love of community and country. On that day, no matter where we came from, what God we prayed to, or what race or ethnicity we were united as one American family. We were also united in our resolve to protect our nation and to bring those who committed this vicious attack to justice. We quickly learned that the 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda, an organization headed by Osama bin Laden, which had openly declared war on the United States and was committed to killing innocents in our country and around the globe. And so we went to war against Al-Qaeda to protect our citizens, our friends, and our allies.
All right, so he went a little bit into the backstory. He also talked about the specifics of exactly what happened and how this operation came to take place.
After years of painstaking work by our intelligence community, I was briefed on a possible lead to bin Laden. It was far from certain, and it took many months to run this thread to ground. I met repeatedly with my national security team as we developed more information about the possibility that we had located bin Laden hiding within a compound deep inside Pakistan. And finally, last week, I determined that we had enough intelligence to take action and authorized an operation to get Osama bin Laden and bring him to justice.
All right, so he goes on with a few more specifics. And one of the reactions immediately that we saw from Republicans was, hold on a second, he didn't even mention George W. Bush in this whole thing. Because, hey, if George W. Bush hadn't started this endless war in Afghanistan, we arguably never would have caught Osama bin Laden in Pakistan. So I think maybe there is certainly some resentment there among Republicans saying, hey, what about George? What about George W. Bush?
Definitely, yeah.
And so the questions that instantly come up are, what do we gain as a result of this? In other words, what changes? Does this change the war on terror? I don't think it does.
Not at all.
Does this change the fact that we will still go forward in thinking of TSA porno scanners and secret operations around the world and all of these other things that are happening? Will that change because Osama bin Laden, who was, as we understand it, on dialysis and in a practical nature, not able to really do that much for the last 10 years anyway, 8 years, 7 years. I don't think it really changes anything on that front. Now, it does make people happy. It will help politically Barack Obama for sure. Some people are saying, hey, Obama's a shoo-in for 2012 as a result of this. I don't think so. We'll see what Matt Lewis and Bill Scher think about that in a few minutes. I get all of the ways that this is a positive thing, but I don't actually think that in reality it changes anything in terms of operating politically or economically.
Right. Agreed. If anything, unfortunately, things could get more dangerous because of this.
It's possible. I hope that that's not the case. The other thing is, hey, remember, for people saying George W. Bush is the one who deserves all the credit, do you remember what George W. Bush said in a press conference 6 or 8 months after the 9/11 attacks? Take a listen.
You know, as I mentioned in my speech, I do mention the fact that this is a fellow who is willing to commit youngsters to their death, and he himself tries to hide, if in fact he's hiding at all. So I don't know where he is. Nor do, I just don't spend that much time on him. To be honest with you, I'm more worried about making sure that our soldiers are well supplied, that the strategy is clear, that the coalition is strong.
Yeah. So wait a second. Why? Bush said he's not that concerned about Bin Laden. Doesn't spend a lot of time thinking about him. Why does he deserve all the credit now? He had plenty of years, right? He had 8 years. I don't know.
Well, good for Barack.
Yeah, hey, good for Barack Obama. So after all of this, of course, George W. Bush thanking, I guess is the word, President Obama for doing this, congratulating him, Bill Clinton doing the same. A couple people mentioning the assassination was actually conducted illegally. I don't believe, Lewis, that that's going to become a prevalent thing. I don't think anybody's actually going to look into it, for better or for worse. And I got several emails saying this actually was an illegal assassination.
We'll see. You never know.
We'll see if it becomes a story. We have to assume that this is going to make John Boehner emotional enough to cry, right? The Osama Bin Laden killing.
I'd like to think so.
If it would be almost out of place, given the things that have caused John Boehner to cry, if this didn't. And obviously, we got Osama. Tax breaks for Chevron. That's also, we have to expect that. That's the proper reaction.
The proper course of action after something like this.
How soon will we hear about, well, listen, if we don't see the death certificate, and I'm not talking about that short form thing, Lewis, because you know those are faked all the time. I mean the long form death certificate. We can really only take at word because Obama said, or maybe, I don't know if Obama said it or not, but apparently Osama bin Laden was taken into custody and his body was buried at the bottom of the sea in accordance with Muslim tradition. Am I understanding that properly?
I don't know if that's in accordance with Muslim tradition, but that's what happened.
That is what happened, or what we're being told. So,
right,
hey,
what
we've
we're
got
being told.
No death certificate, no long form.
I hear there are pictures, though.
Right.
And they're wondering if they should release those pictures.
Well, those can be faked very easily.
That's true.
I got an interesting email from
if
someone.
If everything can be faked, then we need to see the body firsthand.
Yeah, and even that could be a fake body. They might have. You know what could have happened?
Might have found a lookalike.
They might have grown a lookalike as a clone. They might have speed cloned someone and then killed that guy in order to make us think that it was actually Osama bin Laden.
Or just gave someone else a lot of plastic surgery.
I guess the iPhone
and a big beard.
I guess the iPhone really is transmitting people's location back to Apple. That must be how they tracked him down.
You think he had an iPhone?
I got an interesting email from someone saying, do I think that Bush's relationship with the bin Ladens, maybe throughout the Bush presidency, was forcing George W. Bush to maybe pull punches a little bit in terms of finding Obama, saying he didn't, or Osama rather. I'm doing it too. Hey, listen, we'll have clips of that coming up too. Do you see what I'm saying? Maybe he didn't really want to get Osama bin Laden because of this relationship that he had with the family, business relationships dating back generations. What do you think?
I think that's a little far-fetched.
I don't want to speculate specifically, but it's an idea that is, I'm curious about it.
I like the iPhone idea.